you want to start, Peter? I already share
Yes.
with her, and I will share more. But
Okay.
you
Yes,
start.
I will start. Thank you. Yes, Nicole, this is so interesting, and it's very common, by the way. And the tr not the trick, the what's happening is it's becoming more visible in you, and you are now irritated when you see it in them. And this irritant, um, the irritation, Uspensky used to say, if you could feel irritation like this and not be identified with it, it would become like a tentacle with which you can feel the mechanicality in situations and in other people. And then if you learn not to identify with that, you actually start to experience a different kind of perception of what's going on. Because you're right. You are seeing something, and yet the irritation is because it's in you. If it wasn't in you, if you could look at it strictly from the perspective of clear consciousness, let's say pure awareness, without any irritation, what you would see, of course, is people manifesting automatically, as the fourth way says, mechanically. And doesn't mean they're bad, doesn't mean they shouldn't be your friends anymore, but you would just see this is the way it actually is. Um, for most people almost all the time. And it's disconcerting to start seeing that, but it's disconcerting to realize it's in us. So one recommendation I can make is be with your friends, those friends, and really observe inconspicuously and more carefully, with more attention, with more awareness, and really watch what you're seeing. There's much more to see. And the more you can do it without being identified, without judging them, criticizing them, being afraid of the relationship going sour, the more true your perception will become, and the more pure something in you will become as it overcomes that irritation. That you'll transform that irritation into deeper perception. I know that's getting way ahead of your question, but it's worth pointing out to not stop at the irritation, not stop at the fear that you mentioned. Try to keep moving through those. Um, so thank you, Mihai.
Yeah, I was when Nicole told me that I was, and she was describing some of those manifestations of those friends, and I could see that yeah, for you doing the work, you are becoming more conscious to you're more conscious, aware of false personality that has a certain flavor, has a certain frequency that actually it's a little repugnant ultimately as compared to essence, because there's some sense of falseness and all of that. So I was just sharing with her that you are becoming aware, and you stop being deceived by the appearance of this charming ego, and you are seeing that, okay, this is uh, this kind of taking space unnecessarily, wanting to get attention on oneself. You are seeing all these mechanical manifestations of your friend's false personality, and you're seeing them more objectively as they are, actually. So the seeing of it is very accurate, and it's good to see that, you know. And then they went down the pedestal, and you see them actually pretty mechanical, and actually it's pretty obnoxious. Yeah, that is fine. The seeing is fine. But I get it, it's kind of shocking for you, and there was a little bit of disappointing and a little jarring and a little, then judgments come in, and then fear of losing of friends and this or that. So, as we do this work, our friends will change. I mean, not all of them, but we are going to naturally resonate less and less with people that are in strong false personality, because it's not going to be, I don't know, it doesn't feel good, and it doesn't feel useful, and it doesn't feel engaging. And we are going to resonate more and more with people that are basically doing the work that we are doing or doing some other type of conscious work. So that will be the most drawn to, because, or people that even if are not doing this work, but they are more in essence, meaning more genuine, more authentic, more simple. There is a, just like when we hear about, we find out about junk food and all of this stuff, and we start to taste organic food, we are naturally repelled by that energy of the junk food in some way. Yeah, the tricky part is to not judge them and to understand that, they are not doing it intentionally. They have no choice. And actually, as Peter would said, to observe the study of features. We'll talk in future modules about false personality and chief features and mechanical patterns. And what you describe is a mild version of something. I used to have much more pernicious thing that I would see these things and then it will link to my vanity and specialness. And then I would feel like superior. And it took me a long time to kind of get over that. Because then that closes the heart, and then feeling like a special superior consciousness better than everyone, and that's really nasty and it's false and it's unpleasant. And yes, we can still have an open heart and love, and see that it's still from one angle a very high form of practice, highest form of practice, Francis Lucy would say, is to see wherever the eyes fall, there is the face of God. Actually, it's a quote from the Quran, I think, or from Sufi master. So yes, they are asleep and they are mechanical, and still there's being here, and somehow not to cut off somehow and not to judge them and to love them, but will naturally gravitate towards people that are different.